Welcome to Math 1324. This is section 1.2. We're looking at slopes and lines. So, in question 1 here is actual question. We want to have a graph. We want to determine, is this slope positive, negative, or 0? Well, if you look at this line and imagine yourself walking on the line, and you're going from left to right, then if you're walking downward. And if you're walking downward, that would be a negative slope. The steeper it is going down, the more negative it would be. In the opposite case, if we were going left to right and you were walking upward, then that's a positive slope. All right, so more positive would mean it would be steeper going upward. In question 2, we have a vertical line. So here on this vertical line, well, you couldn't stand on it too easily. You'd be falling. This is a cliff, and a cliff has too much slope, and therefore the slope is undefined. And they gave us that as a choice here. So undefined. On the other hand, if the place we're walking is perfectly flat, so this is flat, flat has a 0 slope. Okay, so we've got positive going upward, negative going downward, 0 if it's flat, and if it's a cliff, then it's a undefined slope. All right, in question 3 here, they would like us to graph this particular equation of a line. Well, there's a couple of things that we can see here. One, this is in the format already that looks like y equals mx plus b. m is the slope. Tells us how steep our line is. So looking here, I see that this is a 2. Well, it's a positive number. Since it's positive, my line should be going up. The minus 4 on the end is b in our template here, and that represents the y-intercept. So you see our line is crossing here on the y-axis at 0, minus 4. When we talk about slope, slope is m. Slope is a measure. It's a number that corresponds to rise versus run. What do I mean by that? Well, run is going forward. There's run. And rise is, just as you would think, going upward. So, our slope, if we have points, is one point minus the other point. In our case, the slope is 2. That's 2 over 1. So, the x is the bottom. That's over 1 and up 2. And so if you look at this, I go over 1, up 2. That's another point. Over 1, up 2. And you can pick however many points you would need to be on the line. To graph the line, though, you only need 2 points. All right, what about question 4 here? They say graph this equation of a line. Well, first off, it's not in a good format that I can determine anything about it. So I need to manipulate the equation so that it looks like our template. Well, let's see. Here's where we start. I think I'm going to move the x term. So I'm going to subtract it from both sides. It's now on the right-hand side. I need to clear away the 4 that's multiplied by the y. And so I divide everything by 4. All terms by 4. So 4 over 4, that's a 1. This minus x over 4, I can split the number away from the variable, and that's minus 1/4. So what do I know now? I know it's crossing at 0, 1. Yeah, that's my y-intercept. My rise versus run, I go over 4, and now since the rise is a negative number, you would go down over 4 and down by 1. And so again, you can pick points to use your graphing tool to be able to connect the dots. In question 5, they say find the slope and the y-intercept. Well, the good news is it's already in a perfect format to do that. So I just match things up. M is 4. M is a positive number, so my line would be going up. B is minus 9, so the y-intercept is at 0, minus 9. So armed with just that, I can make a really rough sketch here quickly. Crossing at 0, minus 9, and it's going upward. Now it's just a really rough sketch, but at least gives me some idea what's going on. Let's see, in question 6, again they want us the slope and the y-intercept. Again, it's in a good format. So m is minus 9/7. That's my slope. It's going down. B is minus 5, and so it's crossing at minus 5. So again, rough sketch, crossing at 0, minus 5, and it's going downward. Just a rough sketch, but gives me some clue what's going on. Let's see, what about question 7 here? Question 7 says they've said find the slope and the x-intercept. So you might be tempted to say, oh, slope is 2, y-intercept is 6. Well, that's not what they wanted. They wanted the slope, yes, but they wanted to know where is the x-intercept. To find that, I set y to 0 and solve. So move the 6 to the left by subtracting both sides by 6, and then divide both sides by 2. And so x is minus 3. So I can make a better sketch this time. Let's see. I know it's crossing at minus 3. And I know it's crossing over here at 6. And so I can connect up my two dots to get a better line than I could before. Question 8. Find the slope and again the x-intercept. Well, let's see. First off, it's not in any kind of good form I can find the slope. So let's see. I'm going to move the y because I like to have it positive. Here's that. Move the 40. All right, that looks better. My slope is 8. It's going upward. Crossing down low at minus 40. What about the x-intercept? Set y to 0, and I solve. 8x is 40, so x is 5. So let's see, rough sketch since we've been doing these. Crossing really low at minus 40. And let's see, x place was at 5. And so here's my upward going line, crossing at those two places. Let's see, question 9. They say write an equation of a line. So they want us to find an actual equation of a line. All right, well, let's see. They gave me the slope and the y-intercept. Well, that's perfect. I just fill things in. Slope is -2, y-intercept is 7, and we're done. Let's see, question 10. Write in slope-intercept form a line that has this slope and goes through that point. So I need an equation of a line called point slope. What do I need? I need a point, x1, y1, that's my point, and I need a slope. My x and y will stay as part of the final answer. So let's see. y1 is here, that's 0. x1 was 3, got that. The minuses are part of the formula, and m is 4. Y minus 0 is y, and now when you distribute 4x, 4 times -3 is -12. So that's the actual equation of my line in slope-intercept form. Question 11. Let's see. Want a line that's going to go through 8 minus 4, has a slope of 9/2. Okay, my x is 8, y is -4. All right, so I'm going to plug all this in into the blanks. Minus is part of the formula. So minus a -4 is a +4. I've got my 9/2, x minus 8. Let's see. 9/2 times x, 9/2 times 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 9 times 4 is this -36. Where did the -4 come from? Well, that came from the left moving to the right. So I'm going to subtract, and so that's why it's a -4. And now combining these two, we get the -40. Question 12. We'd like to find several things. Find the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points. Find it in slope-intercept form and in standard form. 3 things. Let's see. My slope. My slope formula is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So first off, write it in terms of blanks. Something minus something, something minus something. And now fill in your points. Now, it makes no difference which one is y1 and which one is y2. Just make sure your points stay together. 14, 11, and 7 minus 3. 11 minus 3 is 8. 14 minus 7 is 7. And so my slope is 8/7. Let's see my point. I can use either point. All I need is one point on the line. So I'm picking 7, 3. Now there's a reason I pick it, but I'll get to that in a second. But you could pick either one. So let's see. Fill in my point. Fill in my slope. All right, 8/7 times x, there. 8/7 times 7. Well, you see, I picked the 7, 3 because I was looking to see, could I get something to cancel nicely? And it would, giving me the 8. And so now, move the -3 to the right, making it plus, and I get -8 plus 3, which is a -5. And that's it in slope-intercept form. To put something in standard form, it looks like the following. Now, standard form is fairly useless as far as giving you any information on the graph, but it looks pretty. Well, how does it look? Well, all the x's and the y's are on one side and a number's on the right. So let's see. What did I do? First off, I'm going to move the 5 over, move the y over. Okay, so that's how I got to here. Now, typically in standard form, we don't want any ugly fractions, we like it pretty. So I'm going to take a 7 and multiply all the way through so that I can cancel this piece. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 8/7 is 8. And 7 times the y. Now, to finish it off, I can just rewrite this in a nice pretty form. 8x minus 7y is equal to 35. And that gives us our final piece in standard form. And that concludes section 1.2.